Ringer Tailgate presented by FanDuel and college football Saturdays are already delivering. Every game means something right now. Ranking shift, upsets hit, and the best place to stay on top of it all, FanDuel. Whether you're riding a noon kickoff or betting the late games, FanDuel lets you bet it your way. Same game parlays, live betting, player props, alt lines, whatever your angle is, it lives in the app. So if you're watching all the action, bet on it now with FanDuel. Download the app and head to FanDuel.com/tailgate and make every Saturday count. The Ringer is committed to responsible gaming. Please visit rg-help.com to learn more about the resources and helplines available and listen to the end of the episode for additional details. Welcome to Ringer Tailgate. We are live. It is Saturday. We have a lot of football games that are happening in real time. If you're just joining us, we got Georgia, Tennessee coming down to the wire. Last 4 minutes of that game is happening in real time. We got weather delays all across the country. USF Miami is part of those. Again, they're trying their best to stop our Bulls. But first and foremost, let's say hello to our guys, Lathan. Van, good to see you, man. How you doing on this Saturday?
Great, wacky, weird day of college football. I'm having fun.
Yeah, you got a lightsaber on your shoulder. You got the logo behind you on the television. It's all good stuff. We got Joel Anderson here as well. And Joel, how are you holding up on this Saturday?
I wasn't paying attention. I thought he kind of was doing like a joke crucifix or something like that. Like you, Van, because, what was it in the Hate Me Now video? Who was carrying the crucifix? Was it Puffy or Nas?
Oh, well, you want to get yourself in trouble. The last time, it's a very controversial music video for myriad reasons.
It's a great song, though.
I understand.
I don't know if you want to deal with that, but this is a lightsaber. We were talking about that earlier.
But do you see what I'm talking about, Tate? If you're looking at him on camera and that line from the bottom of your TV looks like...
It looks kind of like a candle that like an acrolyte in church might
light.
Yeah,
I was like...
Like when it's tucked behind your shoulder.
I have several of them. You know what I mean? I'm a warrior. I'm a college football warrior. A Jedi warrior of college football.
He's fighting the good fight. Again, we got this Georgia-Tennessee game. We will talk about that as it's happening in real time. But first and foremost, let's start here. You got a lot of first takes to open up shows. We got a first fact, and I'll read this out to you guys. Georgia Tech, under head coach Brent Key, is now 7-1 against ranked ACC teams. He beat number 24 Pitt, number 13 UNC, number 17 Miami, number 17 UNC, number 10 FSU last year, number 4 Miami last year. And today, number 12, Clemson goes down. Van, your reaction when you saw the Tigers fall. This was my trap game I circled at the beginning of the season. And again, the Tigers go down at Georgia Tech.
Yeah, it's annoying. It's annoying because the LSU victory over Clemson continues to look more and more suspect as Clemson goes out on the field and actually loses. Let me tell you what I mean by actually loses. I'm not talking about a game where the conditions get mucked up and they're sloppy, or there is one player who's having an out-of-their-mind game, or there's an injury, or any of the myriad storylines that can take place in the college football game that can legitimately explain you losing it. I'm not talking about any of that. I'm talking about the fact that Clemson played Georgia Tech today, and Georgia Tech beat Clemson straight up by establishing the line of scrimmage, by having the tougher, more dependable quarterback, and about having the defense that seemed like they were in a better position to make plays. Clemson lined up with Georgia Tech, and they just were not the better team.
In Haynes King we trust. That was the sign that was reverberating through the stadium as they stormed the field after this win in Bobby Dowd Stadium, which is a great stadium, great atmosphere. Georgia Tech fans were electric all day. Joel, did you see anything in this game that made you think to yourself, Georgia Tech actually is a team that's a contender, or was this more about Clemson and the fact that they aren't quite who we thought they were?
I think it's more that Clemson isn't who we thought they were, right? Because I think if they have as much NFL talent as they allegedly have, which would have been quarterback, wide receiver, theoretically some of those starting linemen, because they basically returned virtually their whole line from the previous year, 2 defensive linemen who are top 10 picks allegedly. If that team is as talented as we're supposed to be, they're not supposed to be slugging it out with Georgia Tech, as good as Georgia Tech is. And I think Georgia Tech is a very good team. Like, it seems like they could potentially be a playoff contender. I mean, but no matter what Brent Key's doing there is a hell of a coaching job. Georgia Tech's only real advantage over its peers is being located in Atlanta, like one of the most talent-rich areas of the country. But like they'll never be number one in town. It's a hard school to get into. All the freshmen have to take calculus, and any of the recruits that are trying to get into school there, they're also considering Stanford, Northwestern, Duke, and whatever other, Power Four team is recruiting them. So
even like a Virginia Tech, right? I mean, that was a school that used to compete with them as well, right? With just the technical institutes going head to head, and they had a better football program, so they were always kind of behind the eight ball. You know?
Yeah. I kind of thought that maybe we had seen the best of Georgia Tech. They would never be competitive, not really be able to compete with the Clemsons of the world. But man, Brink, he's done a tremendous job, man. He's done the difficult at least so far. But the next step is winning consistently, like win when people expect you to win. So they've got to do that now.
Yeah, we got Georgia, Tennessee. If you're watching, they just tied up 38-38. Van, you look mesmerized right now as you're watching this. They get the
just a
touchdown and they get a
fantastic
2-point
throw
conversion
to the corner of the end zone by Gunnar Stockton on 4th and 6. Then a great play call on the 2-point conversion, wide open receiver on the 2-point conversion. The game is now tied, and Aguilar, Joel, your guy, has the opportunity to drive the ball down the field with just about 2 to play and get a really career-defining win in Neyland Stadium.
Are we shocked this is a shootout? I mean, from the jump in this game, all the Georgia people in my life, they kind of heard what we had talked about, on our Wednesday show, and they were like, you brought up, like, Josh Heupel maybe getting one over on Georgia. Kirby knows everything about Heupel. He likes to run all these plays. It's a good thing for him, but they come out and score 21 points in the first quarter, and Aguilar couldn't have been any better. I mean, was it shocking to see that this score is right now 38-38 with 2:30 to play? I mean, not necessarily the defensive showdown we may have expected going into this one, right, Joel?
Yeah, I think that the surprising thing is that they kept scoring. So obviously they scored 3 touchdowns on their first 3 possessions. Aguilar looked amazing. And
14 for 14 to start, yeah.
In those 3 possessions, they scored more games against Georgia than Tennessee had scored in any game since Heupel had been there. So it was like that. It was like, oh, okay, like they've totally flipped this on the head. Then they come out after halftime, and it looked like Georgia had sort of keyed in on them, and they'd figured out some things and mixed up some coverages to slow him down. But then Aguilar and Brazel, is it Brazel or Brazel? Like
Brazel. The Razzle Brazel is what
Brazel. That's right. Yeah. Brazel, I like that.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Brazel. The thing about Georgia, the advantage they always had over Tennessee is that Tennessee could out-athlete everybody. They're just very vertical with their routes. And you usually can't man up on them. And so most teams sell into a zone and they would get picked apart like that. But Georgia always has had the athletes at corner to be able to cover them. And they've been able to outmuscle them and out-athlete them in the past, but this year looks like things have evened up. I would have never expected that Aguilar, the former Appalachian State dude, would show up like this. But again, that's the value of having an experienced transfer quarterback, man.
Absolutely. He seems to have great command over Heupel's system. Heupel was all over him. And look, this Tennessee offense, obviously the defense is having some struggles out there. Georgia got a lot of talent on offense, as Joel said, but this Tennessee offense is operating at the peak premium level against peak premium competition. And that's, partly to do with Heupel, but partly to do with the fact that he has a trigger man out there that he can rely on to run his system.
And also, I mean, Brazel, just going back to him, he had 2 and 1 touchdown catches in this game that are basically jump balls.
On your head.
I mean, unbelievable, right?
Bad dude, man.
If you don't know the name, you will know it now. Yeah.
But even on those jump balls, though, you see your quarterback recognize single high. He knows he has single high, which means he can throw the ball on the one-on-one to the outside and either live with the jump ball because he believes in his guy, because on the second throw, he was not behind the corner. That was a 50-50 jump ball. Best guy gets it. But you can throw that knowing that the backside of your read is true. You're trusting your eyes. You're seeing that one safety. Nobody's going to sneak across the field and pick that ball off, throw it up there, let your guy did it. So it's a veteran quarterback move.
Hey, my racist stat of the day is no longer any good, man. Wingo scored a touchdown for the University of Texas. So finally this year, a black athlete has scored a point for the University of Texas this season, man.
Congratulations to Ryan Wingo. It's got to hurt for our guy Parker Livingston or
Man.
Livingstone. Have we figured that out? Have we adjudicated what the actual pronunciation is at this point? It's Livingstone, correct, fan?
It's Livingston, but I think here on Ringer Tailgate it's Livingstone because he's just so solid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm glad you guys brought that game up because, look, if you are watching the game, which me, Jomi, and Kai are in the other room right now, right? They're probably finishing off the game,
man.
If you are watching that game, there is no longer any ambiguity about the fact that Texas has a problem at quarterback, guys. They have an issue
like a good problem, a bad
at
problem.
Quarterback. Not like one of the problems, like, yo, I'm a problem. No.
Not Bryce Underwood, he's a problem.
At quarterback. Wide open receivers. And not only wide open receivers. We're going to talk about a throw, or you could talk about a throw where there's a receiver coming across, flashing across the hash. There's a throw there for a decent quarterback to make. Arch doesn't make it. I'm sorry, guys. This is a different.
It's the Arch Manning.
It's a different day. It's a different day. You're talking about that throw, but you're also just talking about, like, literally out routes to the sideline. The guy is open.
Yeah.
And Arch is just throwing the ball away. We were laughing in the other room, not laughing at his misfortune, but it's comical that everyone is watching him. And the routine throws that a quarterback has to make to keep an offense in rhythm, y'all, Arch cannot make them. It's an issue.
You've got to hope that he's hurt. Like that's the hope. Because if he's not hurt, then we have some other really serious questions about what is going on here. Man, he got booed at the end of the first half. Like Texas looked that bad against UTEP, and it was 7-3 until Arch takes in a little touchdown run right before the end of the half. But it was 7-3 most of the half, and the fans were getting sick of this. And for people that have not been to DK and seen a game there, like, this is not a rowdy crowd. This ain't LSU. This ain't, Penn State, whatever.
You got to show them something to get a reaction, right?
Yeah,
it's a very like blue blood basketball crowd that's at that stadium where like they'll go silent quickly if they don't like what they see.
They don't make a hell of a noise. Nobody has ever said, man, it was intimidating to play at the University of Texas, right? But they were booing old boy on the way off the field in the first half, and I just, again, you gotta hope it's hurting, that something is wrong, but he can manage to play through it. Because even right now, dog, this is UTEP, 10 of 23 for 101 yards, touchdown and a pick. I mean, that's what we all said. Okay, well, after Ohio State, he's going to put up a bunch of big numbers against UTSA, UTEP, and San Jose State. That is not what has happened. I mean, so that suggests that there is a real problem down there, man.
And this is coming off Sark's quote, which was very strange. We talked about it on the last episode, but you would suspect at some point if he was going to double down and say, hey, do I take video of you taking shits, that, there would be some sort of bounce back from his QB1. But instead, it's the opposite. And Van, is it fair to ask the question again after this game? Like if you're that reporter, you asked, you got the weird answer, but it's probably worthy of a follow-up, right?
Well, if Sark doesn't have a good explanation for people as to why the offense is struggling, he's gonna just dig his offense's grave even deeper. He needs to have a real conversation with people that makes them feel like one day in the next coming games they're going to snap out of this. Look, we got a lot of guys we're trying to work in. Arch is still a baby quarterback that's absorbing the offense. Things are moving fast. We're trying to do things to slow the game down for him. All different types of situations. How about some belief in your quarterback? How about we know that these accuracy issues are that they're not going to last, right? They're impermanent because we've seen him be accurate. We know he can do everything we're asking him to do. How about a vote of confidence there? That we've seen Arch be better than this. We know Arch is better than this. And these are the reasons why you guys might not be seeing it right now on the games and on film. But like shitting on people and playing coy and cagey with them is not going to work because the product on the field is too flawed to do that. There are real questions that people are going to ask as to why this particular quarterback was ballyhooed as the Heisman winner, lock, first round, first quarterback off the board, where he doesn't even look like a draftable quarterback right now.
Man, it's interesting too, because as bad as Arch has been, what would make me really concerned? The Texas hasn't been able to establish the run against like UTEP too. So like at least you could say maybe Arch is hurt, maybe Arch is still figuring out, timing with his receivers or whatever, and they haven't gotten to a rhythm. Maybe that'll come. But at a minimum, you should think they should be able to overwhelm these schools, and that's just not what happened. They don't have 300 yards of total offense yet. Now, again, maybe we got a half of a quarter to go, and I'm sure maybe they'll pull it away. But while this game has been theoretically competitive, Texas has looked pretty terrible.
Have you guys seen the Red Bull video where he has the drone and he's like throwing the football at the drone?
Who,
Have
Arch?
you guys seen that? Yeah, Arch.
I've seen that.
I've seen all of it. Arch got a lot of commercials, man. Arch is a little Hollywood,
he looks great in the Red Bull commercial, and now I'm like, were they doing some editing here? Like he's like knocking the drones out of the air. He's like throwing a tight spiral. I haven't seen one of those throws yet. I'm a little bit worried about Red Bull.
He looked great in the Red Bull commercial, and he looked great wearing the Warby Parker glasses with his dad. They're walking around with the goddamn glasses.
Yeah.
Take the goddamn glasses off, or maybe put the glasses on.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe
wearing
wears
the
the
glasses
glasses
while they're
or like a
inside of the
visor
goddamn
that
helmet.
has like a
Yeah,
prescription.
Why don't people
something-
talk about Devore, man? Why nobody recognize Devore?
Those are three huge brands that are probably concerned about their investment right now.
Yeah, he looks good in there.
But I mean, this story isn't going away. It's not going away. When you set the expectations of people, they live by those expectations. As much shit as we talk about people and how cynical, they want to believe what you tell them.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, Arch is kind of like when a guy tells a girl that he loves her, tells her he loves her, doesn't show up to her birthday party.
Oof.
Tells her he loves her, can't remember her anniversary. Tells her he loves her, trying to hit on her friends. Tells her all of that stuff. And then one day you have to go, hey, man, I'm not seeing it. It's not enough. But still, the fact that the initial promise was made weighs on people's minds to such a degree. People still are like, where is this quarterback we've seen? Maybe we'll see him, maybe we won't.
And we got a situation right here. 34 seconds left. Tennessee is driving. They are in field goal range technically right now. 38-38, 2nd and 7. Fourth quarter here. So this is a chance. First time that they could
they let Aguilar throw it.
Oh, yeah, he's throwing it.
Oh.
Close to a first down. So
close to a first down.
You guys
I'm
got
going to run this one and try to get the first down, trying to salt off a little bit even more of this clock. Joel, I got to ask you, man. The whole world is wanting to know. Last night, I don't know if you saw, but Nico, he was in action again.
Nico,
he was in action. They lost.
Why you dissing this young man, dog?
What's it? New Mexico State?
New Mexico.
New Mexico. They got blown out by New Mexico. This guy wanted $4 million. Now his backup, who's probably paying for some Zaxby's right here, that's what he's playing for. I saw Omar Epps in the Zaxby's commercial. He got them about to beat Georgia. You said very famously on the podcast that they should have paid Nico the $4 million. And I'm wondering, Joel, if at all your opinion has changed from what you've seen.
Good question. Joel, your thoughts?
Man, fuck y'all, man. Nah. Why you want this, Nico? But here's the thing, man. Here's the thing. The thought process I had is that Nico certainly overplayed his hand here, but I didn't think that Heupel would want to disrupt his program in that way. Right? It didn't seem like that much money. And I really underestimated how good Aguilar was, bro. But how do you think Aguilar would look at UCLA right now? That's the thing, because if you watched that game last night, UCLA looks pitiful. I feel sorry for them, right? And I mean, they're playing in front of 400 people at the Rose Bowl. They got no juice. They look small and slow. And Nico looks defeated already. Yeah. Like I feel bad for the kid. I'm like, man, that this just did not work out. So far, this has not worked out for you at all. But the good thing is, man, he can get into portal again next year, And he's shown a lot by being tough. I think he's held up pretty well through this. He's the only thing they got. He's the only thing UCLA has.
And I'll be honest with you, Nico is not there's no way to really assess his talent because what you're saying is true. The supporting cast is so bad. But I'll tell you this though, we could couch it, put it in perspective, all of that stuff. The reality is, if you go to your people and you say, I want $1.5 million more dollars, I want more money to play quarterback, you gotta ball out, man. Because at that point, like, you are upsetting the dynamic of the team. You're upsetting the dynamic of the program. I'm not saying that these kids shouldn't get paid, go out and get paid. But if you do that, you have got to deliver. And not only do you have to deliver, but I'll say this. It was up to Nico and his father to think about the place to go that they would have had the most success. Going to the team that was able to give you close to what you were already making at Tennessee, when you know that the amount of money that you were making, number one, was going to hamstring that team's ability to go get other players. And on top of that, that there was nothing from a roster standpoint that UCLA had that would undergird your ability to make plays and to be successful. You gotta make a decision about whether or not they made the best decision about Nico's football present and future, or whether it was all about money.
So people are gonna get mad if I say this, but it reminds me of Dion and Shador.
Oh shit.
Well, because
you didn't brought the black people in it again, Joel.
I know, man.
Schisms. It's more schisms. You're schisming it up.
Here's the thing about Dion and Shador that I always said. Dion had never had to interview for nothing in his life. Everybody is like, man, Dion be like, man, I'm not even bothering working out for y'all. I'm not going to be there at this point in the draft. But he also overplayed his hand. Like the way they handled the draft process was that of somebody who was a surefire first round pick, and they didn't know. And this is what I think happened with Nico and his family. Like basically, they thought, man, look, I was just in the playoffs with this team. Tennessee has not been in the playoffs, even though it's an expanded playoffs, I'm part of the renaissance here. I've got pro potential. I've got all the attributes, and I was once a 5-star. Surely somebody will want me out there. And then they made the mistake of not actually checking the market and seeing who else was out there. Because if UCLA was your option, allegedly the reason he did not want to stay at Tennessee was because he was worried about his supporting cast. And he thought I was going to be the only one there. Everybody.
Brazzle looks nice now. Just all up.
Bro, if that's true, like that's just was reported on message boards and other kind of stuff. But I mean, bro, like I'm guessing he didn't think UCLA can't be that bad. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody would think you wouldn't go to UCLA and be like, man, we have a shot to go 0-12. Like we'll probably be competitive. Nah, man. Yeah, it's the worst UCLA team I've seen in my lifetime.
Yeah, we have a chance where UCLA goes 0-12 and Tennessee goes undefeated. Now, I mean, that would be the starkest contrast maybe of all time. And Joey Aguilar's dad obviously said they already won the trade. We were worried about those quotes going into the Georgia game. But right now, with about 3 seconds to play, they're going to have a 7 seconds to play a chip shot to win this game for the first time since 2016.
Yeah, don't chip shot. This is a big kick, though.
Wait, what happened? They just had a penalty, too.
False start. So they're going to march him back about 5 here, which if you are the kicker, those 5 yards feel like 500 yards, right? Like it's
and if you're a Tennessee fan, you're just this is a nightmare.
Such a big kick from Tennessee. You guys, it's about to happen right now. We're watching it. So huge
Max Gilbert
for Tennessee. But you know what else? While you were talking about Nico, I thought about something else that I've been seeing. Hold on, we got to watch this kick real quick.
Yeah, this is real time right now.
Oh man,
don't
react for like 30 seconds.
He smoked it. He missed it.
Tennessee fans have to be sick.
Wait, are y'all being serious?
I swear, he missed it.
Oh no.
Oh man, this poor girl. They're showing Tennessee fans. They're like, we've been here before.
That is, oh my God. Oh no.
They want it so bad. These
I'm sorry.
I
feel bad for the way that kick missed, man. It's hilarious.
He missed it.
Look at
that was his first kick.
They look like they're about to throw up right now.
Oh yeah.
42-yarder. He missed it. He pushed it right.
Also, look at that boy's face. I don't know if you can go to him again now. Right?
Yeah, he did not want that kick.
You need him. you do not want to go with that kid again anymore right now. This is the worst way to go into overtime with that
Aguilar
face.
pre-celebrated, by the way. They just showed Aguilar. He literally
Putting his
had his
hands up.
hands up like it was good, and then had to recoil
metaphor.
back to the sideline.
It's a metaphor, you know.
Yeah, we were
Hypo, emotionless.
Whew.
Get back in the huddle, and let's see. Now we go to overtime. Tennessee gonna lose. So this is like that's what happens when you miss a kick like that. Just to put a pin in the Nico thing. This past week of watching college football, obviously the college football weekend starts on Thursday. Thursday night, I got to see my guy Hollywood Smothers, my new favorite player over there at NC State, go crazy, right?
Oh yeah,
that was a fun game.
It's a fun game, but I'm seeing stuff, and it's interesting in terms of the Nico thing and other stuff. The quarterback that was playing against Hollywood Smothers was Robbie Ashford. Robbie Ashford of Oregon and Auburn fame, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm watching right now Oregon State play Texas Tech, that's up here. And I believe that the Oregon State quarterback is Malik Murphy.
From Duke.
Yeah.
From Duke, but also from Texas, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And, I'm looking around in the UTEP game, UTEP versus Texas.
Mm-hmm.
The UTEP quarterback was Malachi Nelson.
Malachi Nelson, 5-star.
The former 5-star from USC, who goes to Boise State, then goes to UTEP, and now he's in UTEP trying to figure it out. These quarterbacks, these guys, they're bouncing around now like NFL clipboard holders.
Yeah.
And it matters the situation that you're in for you to make the most of your talent. These decisions that you make about whether or not you're going to sit behind a guy, about whether or not you're going to go into the transfer portal, about which coach, which OC, which QB coach that you're going to go with, they're starting to tell the story of your career. You're watching guys trade jerseys, I don't know, like they're a goddamn career backup that's going from the Chiefs to the Raiders to whomever. So, before you make that decision to leave that program and go to that next spot, don't just think about it from the standpoint of I'm not playing right now. Think about how you are going to play when you get the opportunity to play with the people around you and the staff around you, because that's eventually going to be the story that's told about your career. It's just the success that you have with the access to talent and the access to coaching that you have. So I don't know. You got to make the right decision for your career, man.
And things move quickly. I think that's like kind of the larger message. You know what I mean? They'll pull it real quick. Like the leash has never been shorter for these quarterbacks because everybody knows they can go in the portal and find another one. And there's usually a 5-star that's just trying to find a home.
Well, that's what
you don't have the leverage.
Well, that's what I was thinking about the Colorado thing too. That is sort of weird. Like I kind of want to revisit that in retrospect because Colorado, in case people don't know, they lost on Thursday to University of Houston, 36-20. Dion is now 1-2. Mired in this QB controversy. And so you had Caden Salter. You got tired of him after basically 6 quarters of football. And I'm just like, in retrospect, is that fair? Is that right? Like, I mean, shouldn't he have given Cade? I mean, obviously now you see that Georgia Tech is a pretty good team, right? Like Georgia Tech made theoretical or, projected first-round draft pick Clay Klubnik look pretty bad today. So if Caden Salter struggled against Georgia Tech, it sort of makes sense. But then you pull the hook on him, and then you bring that freshman out there, and then you do this third stringer who you've had on your roster for all these years, and it's like, oh, now he's the answer. Well, what? You've had him in your program for 3 years, like you
running scout team.
Yeah, you just now realize. So I'm just like, it just seems like maybe they're mishandling the quarterbacks there, and maybe in retrospect, maybe Caden Salter deserved a little bit more of a leash instead of be jerking him around like this already.
But the only quarterback he's ever coached is Shedeur, right? So, I mean, he's never had a situation where he would ever pull the plug on Shedeur. So, like, I feel like that's the fascinating part. It's like we're kind of seeing what it looks like with Prime without Shedeur, and it's like he has a very short leash on quarterbacks. And there's a chance Staub doesn't start this weekend, right? I mean, he basically, after the game, said Staub had a bad game. And,
said he didn't play well. Say he didn't play well. Didn't make any other excuses for it. Just said straight out he didn't play well. Is Coach Prime right now coaching from a position of strength? As much as it felt like we knew who Colorado was for the last couple of seasons, it just doesn't feel like we know who they are right now.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It doesn't seem like they know who they are right now. And as the losses continue to mount, I'm not saying that they will continue to mount. I'm saying that they're mounting right now. Is there a chance that Deion Sanders wakes up one day and goes, I don't really want to do this that much? That my sons aren't here. This is not for me.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, he's never really coached a season without his kids by his side. That probably is a huge adjustment, right? When usually your kids go off and you get used to them not being there and you sort of develop your own identity, but all of their identities, their whole college experience has been so tied up with each other. They don't know another way without each other. And yeah, like, I mean, I'm looking at the team and I'm just like, I mean, I'm guessing Colorado. You play Colorado in that time slot, you're probably still going to get more ratings than somebody else. Akron versus Ohio or whatever. But it doesn't feel like Colorado quite has the juice that it had. When this whole experiment started, and it's like, all right, at a certain point, Dion's just going to have to win. Like it's just not all the videos and all the having the Wu-Tang Clan on the sideline and all that. Like they're not going to show up if you lose into Georgia Tech and Houston,
And people don't want to put their reputation on the line to go there and be on the sideline if you're going to lose games. I mean, people like to be on the winning side of things, right. And it does feel like, that if you fall short of the expectations, even if the expectations might be too high, they won 9 games last year, but again, you had the Heisman Trophy winner. So some people thought that they underperformed based on the talent that they had, and most people thought that Shedeur would be a first-round pick. So it was like you had a first-round pick quarterback, you had a guy who is a generational talent, and so much of a generational talent that we've seen other teams playing guys at corner and at wide receiver across the country. It's like a new thing, the Travis Hunter effect, and they still didn't do much with that. And what is the sell now, Van? Like for Coach Prime, like how do you spin this to, hey, this is a rebuilding season, we're retooling things? Like, is that sort of the way that this goes? Because the schedule doesn't look great as I look ahead.
Well, I mean, this is where we're going to find out just what kind of coach Deion Sanders is. He's already proven himself to me to be a program builder. If you ever play college football, 25, 26, I don't like 26 as much as 25, but
yeah, 25 was better. Yeah.
25 was better. But, they have different type of coaches that you have. And one of them is program builder. Now, you cannot say that Deion Sanders hasn't built a program there. There kind of was no program there before him in terms of any program, a program that had any snap, any sizzle, any structure to it. He came in there and he created an identity for Colorado. Now we're going to be able to see if the fundamentals are there. The things that you have to do to win, the recruiting, the discipline, the detail-oriented, process-oriented way that you have to coach in order to build a winning culture, and not just kind of capture cultural lightning in a bottle. We're going to see if they're doing that, and we're going to see as much in the losses as we will in the wins. So, I mean, we'll see what happens now over the course of the next couple of games. Tennessee, it looks like just kicked a field goal. They went back.
Yeah, Gilbert got redemption right there. He got
redemption. So now we're going to see if they can keep Georgia out of the end zone, and we're going to see if Georgia can get a field goal themselves and stretch to a second overtime. So we'll see what's going on right here. But I don't know, man.
Feels like a win for Georgia.
Let me build just one quick thing on the Dion thing. You know what it is about Dion, man, is that he was a game changer. A lot of people have just tried to do what he did. Like they kind of like you hire Mike Vick, you hire whatever, or you put
the prime celebrity effect, right? That's what they called it.
You get some sort of celebrity affiliated with your program and try to build it, and then everybody's turning over their rosters. Like when Dion did it, and he had like 90 new players his first year, people were like, "Oh my God, that's unheard of." But now that is just a thing that happens when there's a coaching turnover now. Like Arizona State did it. Texas State has done it.
Bill Belichick, 70 new players, right?
Yeah, right. So it just kind of happens. And so people have also taken his ideas, and it's like, okay, if I'm a 5-star, I know that I can go to the NFL from LSU. I don't have to go play at Colorado, and I can play big games. Oh.
Yeah.
Nate Frazier.
Georgia.
Sorry, yeah. I would be a bad play-by-play guy.
Georgia's inside the 5.
Yeah, Nate Frazier peeled off a little run around the left end.
I got to get that Nate Frazier jersey. I got a Todd Gurley 3 jersey. I need the Nate Frazier.
Go Nate Frazier. Man, that was.
What else did we learn? What else did we learn this weekend? We saw Penn State play again. Obviously, there are games to come. LSU, Florida still to come. A bunch of good games to come in the night slate. USC, Purdue is on right now after a long weather delay. What else did we learn though? I saw a lot of other games, and I'm wondering if I have a better sense of who Penn State is, if I have a better sense of who Oregon is, if I have a better sense of who Alabama against
Oof.
a legitimate
Mhm.
Power Four. I guess it's Power Four now.
Yeah,
A
right.
legitimate Power Four team went out and looked amazing. They executed and they played with a lot of snap and a lot of fire. Is Alabama back?
Is Ryan Williams back? I think is
Yeah.
the big
Ryan Williams
question. I
back?
mean, he
Man,
had one big catch and then it kind of opened up the floodgates in the second half. Had that flea flicker play, had another big touchdown where he does the jump stop, the Reggie Bush halt, and continue. I mean, he had moments in this game where you're like, okay, that looks like Hollywood Williams. It looks like he's back to being the box office guy again. That was
yeah.
nice to see.
Yeah, and it's also that thing about overreacting in week one because it was like, oh man, Alabama got a more talented quarterback on the bench. Why don't they play that freshman? I was like, oh, actually, Ty Simpson might be really, really good, right?
4 touchdowns today. Yeah.
Yeah, 24, 29 for 382, right? Like he was dinking and dunking in this game.
He's
So
throwing deep balls. I mean, this guy's got
yeah.
an arm. Yeah, he looked good.
So again, like I said, we sometimes need to give ourselves time past that first week. But I don't think it's too early to panic about if you're a Wisconsin fan about what the hell is going on there because what what is your identity, bruh? You tried to fill Longo air raid type deal. You're like, okay, that's a bad fit. It's like when Brian Callahan went up to Nebraska and tried to do the West Coast offense or whatever. And now they're just like, all right, we got some sort of a mishmash. They brought in Jeff Grimes, who was at Kansas, and well, it wasn't Penn State before then. He was Kansas and someplace else. I'll look it up later. But um, it just feels like they've got nothing going. Like they don't have an idea. They used to be big offensive linemen and a running back that's going to get 1,600 yards. They don't have that right now. But also part of the problem is that they've not figured out the quarterback thing. Like they've tried, but their guy Danny O'Neal got hurt. And so they had their backup plan today, and it went about as well as you think a backup Wisconsin quarterback plan would be.
And he was a home run hire. Like when Luke Fickell got
Yeah.
hired, right? That was the guy. That was like, okay, Wisconsin football, we did it. We got our guy. Things are going to be great now. We're 4 years in, Van. It doesn't look great.
It doesn't look great to the point of I don't even understand why Wisconsin has dropped off of the top of mind as a football program. So when Joel was like, what's going on in Wisconsin, my first response was, who fucking cares? I don't care. It's like
He's like back to Alabama, yeah.
But to be honest with you though, you make a great point. Wisconsin has traditionally been a team where LSU went up there with Leonard Fournette some time ago and got their asses kicked, got a mud hole stomped in their ass in Wisconsin.
Barry
It was a
Alvarez
team
mindset,
that was
yeah.
always competitive, always played a brand of football that you could, count on them playing really, really hard. But now it just kind of seems like they're another Big Ten doormat. So I guess their loss is Penn State, Ohio State, and Michigan's game, but they didn't have anything for Alabama today. It was easy
They're terrible.
pickings.
They're terrible.
Easy pickings for them.
Man, it's funny though, and this isn't quite fair. I mean, the one thing that I did remember about Luke Fickell before the Cincinnati stuff, it was like the only time Ohio State has legitimately been bad in this generation or in my lifetime was the year Luke Fickell was the head coach. Now, you went 6-7 that year. That's the worst season Ohio State's had in, a quarter century. So not fair. He followed up after Tressel and after all the probation stuff and all that. But
yeah, he came off Tattoo Gate.
Yeah, Tattoo Gate. But still, I'd always just remember, I was like, man, I mean, you really have to have a lot of faith that he knows what he's doing because when he had all the talent, he had everything he needed to succeed, he went 6-7.
Man,
Georgia wins.
Georgia wins. I gotta say something, man. I gotta say something about this game, man.
Oh man, look at these faces, bro.
This is one of them ones. I'm sorry, man.
Oh, man.
This is one of them ones. I want people to fucking listen. Okay? For the college football fan, there are games and moments that define the ascension and the changing of a guard of two different programs. It had been a while since Georgia had lost to Tennessee. And Tennessee had a golden opportunity, not just to beat Georgia, but to announce themselves as a rising power in the SEC, to put major dings in the armor of who was the king of the SEC after Saban, Kirby Smart, and to say, hey, maybe the East goes through Knoxville now. And they couldn't fucking get it done. They made enough mistakes, giving up a touchdown on the 4th and 6, missing a field goal, all that. They made enough mistakes for Georgia to walk out of Neyland thinking, yeah, this is the same old Tennessee, maybe a little scrappier, maybe a little tougher, but at the end, we're going to put a W on them the way that we always do. And so you just, to me, now watching this, knowing that Hypo has a great team, I want to see how they shake back from this because it's the type of loss that really makes you question yourself when you play that well. At home, you scored 41 points on Georgia, and you lost. It's a tough game for your mentals, man.
Man, y'all enjoy Aguilar, man. Y'all counting y'all chickens before they hatch. You know, oh, we won the trade, man. We look
Joey played great. They did win the trade. Joe, the Nico take was a bad take.
It wasn't a bad take. It just didn't pan out. That's.
I think it's more about UCLA too. Look, UCLA paid New Mexico $1.2 million and lost that game. They also paid Nico $1.5 million. So on Friday night, UCLA fans felt a $2.7 million loss on the football field, and they sold 200 tickets while they were doing it. It was so bad that Matt Leinart was tweeting ways to fix UCLA football. Like a USC legend is trying to figure out how to fix UCLA football. It's not good.
They look. I mean, again, what do they have? They have nothing, man. You know, Deshaun. Again, I love
Deshaun Foster as a player.
Man,
Great Carolina Panther.
Deshaun Foster was one of my low key favorite college running backs to look like. He just looked like a college running back. You know, the little. I just always was like when I played, I would want to have like the little jersey just come right over the top of your bicep when it looked right. Then you had your little back flat pad, and he kind of had his little pad back there. And I love Deshaun Foster as a college running back. He just looked like the perfect college running back. But man, they're gonna have to fire him, man. Like he can't.
What do y'all feel like? What does this mean for Georgia, though? What does this mean for Tennessee?
Oh,
I feel like for Georgia, it says that we're actually the best team in the SEC. I think this confirms their own. You know, they haven't looked great, but to win that game on the road in Neyland,
Tate,
it's like we're on the way.
If LSU wins tonight, you would all of a sudden you demote them?
Maybe let's make it more simple. They're the best team in the SEC East. You know what I mean? Like, so they got that throne handled, and then when the SEC West shows up, you know, we'll see where things stand. The Alabama thing is fascinating with them. Kirby Smart is not, you know, he obviously had the one win against them, but he has not figured out how to beat Alabama consistently. So that game at home will be fascinating to see where they really are. But this was a confidence booster for Georgia.
I was really about to say about Georgia. I was like, oh, okay, like I guess the king is dead. You know, like you know, maybe it's a wide open thing, and you know, Gunnar Stockton looks pretty good, but you know, Georgia doesn't look as scary as it used to, and the idea that Georgia could give up 41 points to somebody who's not Baker Mayfield and Baker Mayfield and Lincoln Riley, it would be like, oh man, that's kind of crazy. So I was totally expecting to like have that little epitaph there. But if anything, it's like, yeah, man, they're gonna be right there. And man, Tennessee got nothing to be ashamed of, man. They played really
hell
well.
nah, fuck all that. They lost. They were supposed to win that game. They like no,
that might haunt the season for them.
They were supposed to win that game. Look, I'm sure Tennessee has everything to play for. They have everything to play for. And by the way, guys, when we say SEC East and West, we realize that the divisions don't exist anymore.
Yeah, but it's still in your minds.
In your mind, we're talking about culturally because it's so funny. What I love about all my college football fans is just how pedantic we are. I love that. That's a part of it.
Also, it changes every year, but we act like it's been, for
leaders and legends,
years,
man.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It changes all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, I have to say, Tennessee has a lot to be ashamed of. A lot. This was a really important game for them to win, man. They should have won that game.
We're going to see how you feel after DJ Lagway do it to y'all here in a little bit. That's what,
look, I'll tell you like this. LSU is a completely unknown quantity with the way they played in the Louisiana Tech game and with how Clemson has played. I give LSU credit for a road win against a team that has a lot of talent, but we watched Clemson move the ball we watched Georgia Tech move the ball on Clemson a lot easier and with a lot more consistency than what LSU did at times, at least to me. You know what I mean? So, for us as an LSU fan, as that win starts to erode, you start to wonder what the team really is, and we'll go another step to finding that out tonight. It's a game that has me nervous. I told you guys before. I told you guys early in the week, like we nervous. But what I will say this is I am pretty sure that if LSU scores 41, that they will win the football game. And for Tennessee, a team that is trying to reclaim the old glory, man, they gotta beat some of these teams. And they've done it. I'm not gonna say that they haven't done it. They've had some really big wins in the hypo era, but it has to be a situation where Georgia comes in there and they leave with a loss. It just has to be that way at some point.
I do want to ask this one big question. We obviously, at the beginning of the year, everyone talked about, Clemson, the most talented team in the country. I think we've got enough data points at this point to say they are not the most talented team in the country. So the question is simple.
Lies and damn lies. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Who is the most talented team in the country, Van, based on what we've seen so far? And obviously that's obviously a very specific way to frame it. But is there a team that you would say is the most talented?
Who knows? Nobody knows.
Mm-hmm.
Think about the gigantic gaps between the talent that we were told that some people have, some players have, and what they've actually showed us. We don't know anything. With the way that these rosters have thinned out because of NIL and the transfer portal, the movement that we see in the sport, we've talked about that. We have to see guys put their fingers in the dirt, their hands in the dirt, and get busy before we know exactly what we have in them. And that's not to say that Peter Woods or Caleb Downs or any of these other players around the country that we've seen play and we know all their measurables, that they're not dogs, because we know some of them are dogs. The question is not just how much of a dog you are, but how many dogs you got around you, what kind of scheme you in, how are you going to play. As far as the collection of talent, Bozeman's coming in here. You want to say hello? Jump up here, boy. As far as the collection of talent and how these guys are going to play, we just don't know any. We don't know. I couldn't tell you right now who the most talented team in the country is. I can tell you that the most consistent performing team in the country, probably to me, is Oregon, right? But they haven't really played anyone.
And they rely on a lot of true freshmen, and they also rely on a lot of different playmakers, right? I mean, they had 25 different guys touch the ball on offense today. So, I mean, when the game kind of gets smaller and you don't have as much time with the ball.
I could also say Miami, though. I could also say Miami.
Right.
I could say Miami. I can say Miami is the most consistent team that I've seen. Miami has a win. Like they're beating our Bulls right now, and they also beat Notre Dame. Those are two. If they hold on in this one, those are two pretty good wins. So. I mean, I don't know. There's no way to know. We don't know yet. We don't know yet, Tate. God damn it.
I'm gonna go with Ohio State. I think that's the most talented team in the country.
Okay.
See what I'm saying? Like Jeremiah Smith, you got
Carnell Tate, Caleb Downs,
Caleb Downs, Sonny Styles, Arvell Reese. That's a pretty loaded team. Like again, to your point, we don't know nothing because they haven't really played anybody, and it may turn out that Texas is nobody too. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like that Texas win doesn't look so impressive in retrospect. But we'll figure it out. We'll see what goes on. But my boy Bear Alexander for Oregon showed up pretty nice today, man. 5 tackles, tackle for a loss. Bear, man, all right.
Yeah, you know what? Look, and to your point, Joel, we could go look at the blue chip ratio and see. And just look at the numbers of who has the most dudes as defined by, the guys who are talent evaluators in the business. We can go look at that. And that'll tell us who has the most 5 stars, who's running the fastest 40s, who has the highest verticals, and all of that stuff. But what I'm looking at right now is which team has the collection of the most dependable football players, the guys who are going to make plays, the kickers that are going to make big time kicks, the safeties that aren't going to let guys get over the top of them. They're going to play to the scheme and stuff. And I mean, we're still finding that out. We haven't had too many marquee matchups. I mean, we got some marquee matchups happening in the night, but we haven't had that many marquee matchups. So we'll know. Right now, SC's about to be 17-3 on Purdue. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying that Purdue is a power right now in the Big Ten, but if SC wins this game and they do it in dominating fashion, that's an important victory for Lincoln Riley to me.
And you would think they'd be a top 25 team too. I mean, I know we already talked about the AP voters, but it does feel like USC just as a brand, they're 3-0. They, have had some good wins on the board, I guess. You know what I mean? It feels like they would end up in the top 25. Georgia Tech should end up in the top 25. I wanted to ask you guys about Michigan as well. Biff Poggi coaching that game. Obviously, Sharon Moore is out for the next 2 games. He says after the game, Bryce Underwood, who rushed for 113 yards today. We haven't really seen him use the legs. We've seen the arm, but the legs were, very impressive today. And he said after the game, he might be Batman, quote unquote. When you hear that, do you buy into the Bryce Underwood hype, man? Might be Batman. I did not expect that comparison.
This is the problem with me with these games, or with what I've seen. Bryce Underwood is going to be a big-time player. Big-time player. Let's think that'll happen. He just seems like it'll happen. You look at him, and it seems like it. But, the statement that Bryce Underwood is going to have to make to arrive as a big-time player is when he leads Michigan to a win and an awesome performance against a team where the talent is close to being equal or even slightly better, where he is the difference maker, where he is the guy that can't be stopped and then puts Michigan over the top. That hasn't happened. But for as much as we saw from Bryce Underwood today, it was Central Michigan. And so no disrespect to Central Michigan, Dan Lefevre. All right, no disrespect to them, right? No disrespect to them, but we just watched Bryce Underwood in a game last week against Oklahoma, and it was a game where the offense couldn't get their shit together. So what I'm saying is, yeah, reps matter, how he looks matters, like what he shows, how he flashes on tape matters, but we will know who Bryce Underwood, we know who Batman is because Batman in Gotham. We know who Superman is because Lex Luthor keep trying to take over the world. Mm-hmm. It's the conditions and the circumstances around those guys that defines their heroism. And you can't say that you Superman and you the man if you out here catching people that's trying to pass bad checks. No. You got to save the world from Brainiac, from Lex Luthor. Right? You got to save the world from General Zod. What happened when Zod show up? Huh? How about that? And Bryce Underwood ain't seen his Zod. He saw last week, it wasn't even Zod. It was like a Clayface, and Clayface won. And he's not even from Metropolis. So what I'm saying is we'll know who he is when he's in a situation to demonstrate it. And the one time that he wasn't quite ready yet. It's understandable, but we'll see how he develops.
Yeah, new shirts coming out. Find Zod. That would be good. You know what I mean? Instead of when people reply, find God, find Zod to all these guys.
Joe, me and Tate been talking a lot recently, man. We've been on the phone.
Y'all got what y'all doing, man? What are y'all?
Man, me and Tate been on the phone. Tate, I'll tell y'all this real quick, man. It's just been different things for me and Tate to talk about. We got different situations, different things happening. Me and Tate been on the phone. Tate, bro.
What's up?
Josh, Joe, don't underestimate Tate. There's something there, bro. Tate got some shit with him, bro.
Tate. Oh man,
no. I'm not even talking. We all
feel like
like
Ryan
Tate,
Staub right now.
But I'm not. We all like Tate, but I'm talking about Tate. Tate got a little bit more white boy summer in him than you think he might. It's interesting. I've been listening to it. Tate got some shit with him. I'll be on the phone with Tate. I'll be like, oh my God, look at this fucking Tate talking that shit.
Wait, what are y'all talking about, man? You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I can't even pretend like I could be on the phone after work, because of the kids. But
we gotta get you. We gotta all go to dinner.
What's going on,
man?
Go
dinner. What? That's the plan.
We talk about. Really, we be on there doing company gossip, but that's okay. We're not gonna talk about what we talk about. People could probably guess. We're not gonna talk about what we be talking about when we're on the phone, but Tate got more shit with him than I thought. You know what I mean?
Man.
It's a whole thing.
My wife said about you, Tate, she was like, man, he's just, you could just tell he's just one of the nicest white boys there is. You know what I'm saying? Like he just, just gives off just like being at a, somebody you would see in one of those the picture frames. But or maybe
that's a fucking diss tape.
No.
I don't know.
No. I gotta think. I got a vision of him on a nice yard, on a nice campus yard.
That's a diss. I gotta tell a story.
with like a beautiful wife and like a little
That's
kid
a
and a
diss,
dog.
Tate.
No, man, it's
Tate, listen to me. Tate,
the
listen.
picture frames. You don't get to be in them frames unless you're an
He's
attractive
saying I'm
person.
life tone or whatever it is.
Tate,
Life tone.
No,
That's a
man.
diss.
She was talking about, and she even mentioned your hair was nice, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
Oh, yeah, that's
Tate,
nice.
Tate, let me tell you something.
So
Let me tell you
whatever you're
something that actually
doing,
happened.
keep doing it.
I'll get Kaliko right now and bring her in this motherfucker. Let me tell you something that actually
I
happened.
can't get my wife because she's got 2 kids, but I ain't got no reason to make it up. I'm telling you.
I'm not saying that you made it up. I know that that's true.
Hey, my mom's a first grade teacher. You know what I mean?
Let me tell you, like something that actually happened. 2011. We try to hook our friend Celia up with a guy that we know. Nice guy, great guy, right? Fantastic guy. We're hooking him up. It's not working. It's not working. The spark. It's not crackle popping. Okay, it's not working. It's not happening. And we see them. We go out. You know, the arc light was still popping. We go out to the movies. We have dinner in the little cafe by the arc light. Everything. They look cool. Everything is good. But whenever we check back in, it's like, I don't know. It's kind of not happening. We only hang out when it's the 4 of us. It's not happening. And you know what she said? She said, I don't know if this is going to make sense, but he kind of seems like a guy that comes with the frame. And I promise you, Joel.
Oh man, I mean, that doesn't help.
You just dissed Tate.
Some women.
I took it as a compliment. I took it as
women want the frame life. They want
and she
to
said,
have a
and
frame.
we was like, what does that mean? She was like, I don't want a guy that comes with the frame. She's like, I want a guy who makes the picture.
Ooh.
And I looked at her, I was like, motherfucker, if you don't talk your shit, see ya. If you don't talk your shit.
Man,
and you,
the young man didn't
what you
stir
just
her
did to
loins.
Tate, bro.
That's crazy, man.
You just played Tate. You just said Tate came with the frame. Tate, you make the picture. Tate, you make the picture.
Hey, I gotta paint that picture.
I'm not a photogenic person.
Cheers.
But what I would say is that my wife is a person that wanted the frame. Like, you know, we look around sometimes at each other like, man, we got a nice yard. We got our beautiful kids here. Like, we really feel blessed sometimes. And so, you know, the frame can be a very nice thing. It could speak for a certain kind of peace and calm. That Tate me seems like he'd come to your house, man, and he would bring a nice gift. Or he would bring a nice drink or something like that, bottle of wine or a nice dessert, something I'd never had before, you know?
Joel.
He's like, oh man, you've got to try these cannolis.
I got you.
Oh, I've never had a cannoli before.
You never had a cannoli?
Maybe we all go get cannolis.
Yeah,
I've never had a cannoli before. I seen it on The Godfather.
Sopranos.
And then I seen it on The Sopranos. And I never had one before. A lot of the stuff that they have on Sopranos, I never eat it. And then one day I was at a sandwich shop like last year, and I asked the dude what came on the sandwich, and the guy was like, this, and this, the gabagool. And I was like, the gabagool, huh?
Is that a real thing?
Yeah, the gabagool's real, yeah.
The gabagool is real. I was like, the fucking gabagool, huh? What are you talking about, huh? It's me. It's me. It's the Moulion, huh? The gabagool.
Kyle, our producer, Kyle Crichton, he is saying get back to football soon. So
I apologize.
Oh, sorry.
No, finish with the gabagool though. Finish with
That's
the
it.
gabagool.
That's it. That's it. They want us to get back to football. We can get back to football.
The last thing about the cannolis, I had a friend, my boy Steve, brought me a cannoli, and I never forgot it. It was like 20 years ago too. So I was like, anyway.
So they're good. Yeah,
they're very good.
Your friend gave you the cannoli, huh?
He brought. You can skeet that. You already know you on. I already know you on Blue Sky.
Keep that out.
Back to football. It looks like Notre Dame has already scored on Texas A&M. How's that game gonna go? Isn't that a big game for Notre Dame?
I think I helped Notre Dame get a win there. I spoke into existence that I thought Texas A&M would win that game, and the line started moving towards Notre Dame, and I think that's probably how it'll go.
Notre Dame has no choice but to win that game because
they have to. Right?
They don't have very many opportunities to prove to build a nice resume for themselves. You know, one thing I was thinking about with Texas A&M, man. How good would it be if they had Haynes King at quarterback still? You know,
they're like QBU, man. They got quarterbacks everywhere. They all have Texas A&M ties.
Conor Wakeman, whoever is listening, but he's at my school, University of Houston. Not my school. That's the school I root for. I grew up rooting for, and he looks good there. And at A&M, they were like, "Oh man, that dude can't pass." Like he looked like he had legs for arms. And now all of a
Mm.
sudden he's doing something down there, man. So yeah, I don't, I mean A&M, man, that's Jimbo. These are all Jimbo's guys, man.
Mm.
And like, why couldn't he have done something with these dudes?
That'll be the question when Jimbo tries to throw his name into the ring when we get to the coaching carousel, right? They're going to be like, "How did all this talent go in and out, and you did not win?" Right?
Heisman Haynes, yeah, man, you could have had Haynes King. Why couldn't you make something out of that? Why could
Speaking
Brent
of
Frazier
Heisman, can we bring that up? John Mateer seems to be the favorite right now. He's had 9 straight games with at least 1 passing, 1 rushing touchdown. They played Temple today. Obviously, not a big game, but they did play really well in that game. Does it feel like he's the leader in the clubhouse for Heisman Van for you right now?
For
Or
me, it definitely is
okay,
based
all
upon
right.
the how they beat Michigan and what he looked like when they did beat Michigan. I really thought though that had Aguilar won the game today, that with the way that he played and the numbers that he put up, that he would have put his name at least near the group of names that you had to watch for the Heisman Trophy. There's just still so many big moments left to be had. But like right now, I know who the guys aren't, and some of the guys that we were told might be in that situation leading up to it. I don't think a lot of guys we expected to be a part of that conversation are. But Carson Beck, I'd
Yep.
say Aguilar, had he won the game, you still might get some people that think, okay, if they come back and he's announced himself as a fantastic quarterback talent on that level, playing in that type of situation. So if he does that consistently, he could certainly be there. Um, but yeah. So of those guys that are playing QB, I would think that those would be the guys. I also want to see how Jeremiah Love plays tonight,
Yeah.
because I thought that Jeremiah Love would have been somebody with the way that Notre Dame was going to lean on the run and have to lean on the run, being that they have a new QB that could be there as well. So we'll see how he plays and see how that plays out the next couple of weeks.
What about Tommy Castellanos, Joel? Do you think he's in that mix as well? Still, it does feel like the flavor of week 1 is fading a little bit. But if anything, I think that his performance against Alabama is aging well, aging like fine wine, I would say at this point.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the thing is that he's going to have some opportunities to have like to have sort of a showcase game. I was actually looking for their schedule, but he's going to get to play against Clemson. And I mean, I guess it depends on what you think of Clemson, right? Is Clemson still like a legitimate win or whatever? But he'll have that game. He'll have Miami. So he's going to have a couple more high profile games. He could certainly work his way into that. But who I think is ahead of him is Dante Moore, man. Oregon looks so good.
Really?
Yeah, man. Dante Moore looks so good. Their offense looks so good. And it makes me think, they keep rolling like that. I mean, they have a couple of games that are manageable, right? They go to Penn State this year, I think. So, they win that game. That might put them in the front runner seat for that, right? I would think he would be that guy. But yeah, if I had to guess right now, probably. Man, this is still tough, man. I like Devin Dampier. I bet Julian saying if Ohio State keeps winning, like if you happen to be the quarterback of the #1 ranked team and you have pretty decent stats, you're probably gonna go to New York. So like Julian saying probably has a chance, but right now, yeah, I guess probably my leader would be Dante Moore, I think.
Okay, shout out to Oregon. Hill, that 66-yard touchdown run. He had the 23 on. Looked like LaMichael James. I mean, he just bursted through everybody, and nobody could catch him. I mean, that Oregon offense is explosive, to say the least. We did not mention this game. I wanted to throw it out because it is a rivalry game. Pitt, West Virginia. West Virginia wins that game in overtime. Rich Rod, obviously a little bit of a stumble last week against Ohio, but an impressive win right against Pitt.
Yeah, man. What
your
is the
thoughts?
backyard brawl? What's
Yeah,
called?
there you go.
I'm so glad they're playing it again.
Yeah, I'm glad they're playing it again too. Cool to see West Virginia out there. Love when West Virginia's up. We've talked about some of the players from West Virginia and historically that we've loved. Eli Holstein, the pride of Zachary, Louisiana. There's the quarterback for Pitt. I watched a little bit of it. I was able to flip back and forth to it. It was just awesome to see the game being played. I remember that game.
They were down 10 late too. Like Pitt got up 10, 24-14. Yeah.
Down 10 late. We're able to get it done. So yeah, man, like I'm interested to see if Rich Rod can get things going in West Virginia again. I'm interested to see if he can. I don't know how relevant West Virginia will ever be as a college football power. I'm not sure whether or not they can play with the big boys with the NIL and all of that stuff, but getting their culture back as far as what it's meant to be a Mountaineer in the past would be awesome. It'd be awesome to see.
Speaking of teams that can't play with the big boys anymore, I did want to ask this, Joel. Is the Pac-12 officially dead now? Oregon State gets kind of routed by Texas Tech. Wazoo, shout out to the Cougs. I love Cougs football. I watch all the games. They get routed by North Texas today. North Texas looks like a top 25 team, but it does feel like the ripple effects from the Pac-12 ending are now affecting those two teams. The Pac-2 does not look good right now.
Oh no, they look pretty bad. And I mean, they're always the thing is that it's really hard for them. Like it when they were parts of leagues, they were always going to be behind in terms of resources and access to talent, right? Because of where they're located. I mean, I've been to both Corvallis and Pullman, and they're hard to get to. Right. And
but so is Eugene. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, Eugene's harder to get to than Pullman.
I know. It's crazy how like the propaganda works with those teams.
But once you get to Eugene, like you and Eugene and the facilities or so, it's a whole thing, right? If you've ever had a chance to walk through those facilities, and I have. But yeah, man, the Washingtons, I mean, they're always going to struggle, and they've just both recently undergone coaching changes. I mean, for Oregon State to have lost Jonathan Smith, that made me feel sad because Jonathan Smith is a really good coach, man, and I think he's going to be okay there at Michigan State. He's got Aiden Childs, and it looks like they're doing okay. And I felt like, man, if he leaves, Oregon State is going to be in real trouble. And I feel like those are going to be two schools, like whenever there's the eventual realignment in the Big Ten and the SEC combined or whatever, they're going to be a couple of those schools that probably aren't going to make it. Like, I think they'll get relegated. But I think there's a whole bunch of schools that are going to get relegated. Like at Stanford.
I mean, Dickert lost it or left in like the late night on the plane. You know what I mean? Man. Got plane trekked out of there to Winston-Salem last year, so they had to deal with that whole thing. Dickert had a good thing going there. He beats Washington last year in the Apple Cup. It felt like, hey, Wazoo's going to hang on. They are a football school, and then it was gone.
Bro, he went from Wazoo to Wake Forest, man. Like Wake Forest is a hard ass job, man. Like everything is against you, you know? And he left Wazoo for Wake Forest. Again, another school that could get left out in the next round of realignment or whatever. So, yeah, man. I mean, that shows you how difficult of a job Wazoo is. That a person left for Wake Forest, right?
So, and that's also how dumb all this is because Oregon State won national championships in baseball. Wake Forest has Arnold Palmer. I mean, look at all the golf guys. Like, you've got legends at these places. Look what Wazoo had with Mike Leach. And that's just the conference arms race has left some of these great programs just sitting on the sidelines. It's not fair. Van, are you worried about the Pac-12?
Look, I mean, I wonder how long the conferences. I just wonder how much stomach for everyone has for this. I'm watching USC play Purdue in the conference game. You know what I mean? It's that plus. It's not like there's no football culture on the West Coast.
I know there's a lot of shade.
Yeah, it's not like there's no football culture on the West Coast. You know, I feel like we talked for so long about where real football is played. Like real football is played in Wisconsin and Louisiana and Alabama and Georgia and Florida and Michigan and
you got to mention Texas. You better mention Texas.
Texas. Yeah. You know, we talked about that for so long that not only was there a financial and structural realigning of important football, there was a mental, emotional, and cultural realigning. Like we did a lot of cultural damage to the football that was being played on the West Coast. And now the sport misses it, man. Now, like I miss some of these games and some of these matchups. I miss getting some of these games with these
Pac-12
teams,
after dark. All right,
Pac-12 after dark. Like I'm missing some of that stuff. That stuff was important. It is also what was important to keep all those pretty boys in the same conference. Like you know what I mean? Just for different types of reasons, right? To be able to consolidate the talent from Southern California in Los Angeles at SC or in Oregon, or having people like the story of how Deshaun Jackson ends up at Cal.
Yeah.
About how he goes all of that stuff, but there's culture there, and I feel like it's kind of eroding, and we're missing it, and it's not the college football that I remember.
I mean, man, it was just a few years ago that UCLA helped Ed Orgeron get fired at LSU, right? Like they went out there and got beat, Zach Charbonnet and everything.
I was at that game. Crazy.
Yeah, I was too.
Right. Like it was just that recently, and all of a sudden, and it makes me think, and again, if they end up regionalizing again, it'll be because something bad has happened and they've been left behind. But it's kind of how I think about like Maryland in the Big Ten. It's like, you sure you don't miss playing North Carolina
We miss
and
playing
Virginia?
them. I'll say it.
And
And Maryland started this, by the way. Maryland leaving to go to the Big Ten was really the first major domino of like, oh, wow, this is really going to be what it is. A charter member of the ACC is going to go to the Big Ten because Under Armour wants it.
what is UCLA like? What are you selling your fans right now? Like, I mean, you know what I mean, like, wouldn't it just be better to play against Washington and Wazoo and all those others? I mean, again, obviously they were pretty much locked in. They had to do something because it looked like it was going to fall apart anyway. But it just, like to Van's point, like Stanford and Cal, man. Like, how much longer y'all want to keep doing this? Y'all want to send y'all volleyball teams out to Boston College in the middle of the week? I mean, that doesn't seem tenable.
It's wild. It's wild that we've gotten here.
Yeah.
They're replaying the Gunnar Stockton throw. It's a fantastic throw, guys. A fantastic throw. Gunnar Stockton we're talking about Heisman. You know, we didn't mention Gunnar Stockton.
Was that pass?
To Humphrey, yeah, it's a fantastic throw. And maybe Gunnar Stockton, with the way he played today, is put himself in Heisman contention. Look, when you say Maryland, I think about so many things. Juan Dixon.
Oh yeah, Juan Dixon. Oh man, Lonnie Baxter. Lonnie Baxter.
Steve Blake. What about Steve Blake? Can I
Steve Blake was fisticuffs in practice.
Oh,
yeah,
you saw it. I love watching that video.
That's a great video.
I think
it's John Gilchrist, right?
Steve Blake, like Steve Blake wasn't a hoe, bro. Like
man.
if you tried it with Steve Blake, it's not like he was the most physically imposing guy, because even in that practice fight, the dude started getting with Steve Blake a little bit. He popped Steve Blake, like he buckled Steve Blake's knees a little. But Steve Blake was with it. He was ready to go, bro.
Miami,
my favorite players, man.
But you know who Terrence Morris is always my example of, like, hey man, you better leave when you think you're gonna be a top 10 pick. Like in my whole life, like he was the guy I was like, man, he was gonna be a lottery pick. And then I think when he finally left, he went to his senior year, he ended up being a second round pick. But Terrence Morris, Maryland legend,
Yeah.
Oh, and Dominic,
so many
when I think of
legends.
Maryland, I think of my boy Dominique Foxworth, man. You know what I'm saying? All American.
Hey, what about
Lamont
Stefan
Jordan.
Diggs? I feel like people don't mention Stefan Diggs enough when they talk about Maryland football, because a lot of times it comes back to basketball, but they've had some good football players too. Two in the other.
Man.
Lamont Jordan, man. Lamont Jordan.
Yeah.
There you go.
Stephon Diggs, we gotta make sure he on the straight and narrow path, though. We don't want to.
Hey, I think New England.
We don't want to
New
blow
England's
his head
gotta
up
keep
too
it
much.
straight.
Man. We gotta make sure.
That's why Diggs had fun, man. He had fun this summer, man.
He had a lot of fun,
man. Go ahead.
That's one of the
dog.
best videos too
Go
in the
ahead,
Vikings
man.
locker room. When
Yeah,
they're like,
all
"Who
right.
do you not want to date your sister?" And it's all Diggs, Diggs. Everyone just
That's-
says Diggs.
By the way, like the Stephon Diggs is like how you know you an unk status, because that's how I know I'm an unk. Like Stephon Diggs is more successful than me by every metric, right? By every metric, except maybe. No, I'm not even gonna diss that nigga. But he's more. I'm not, because I could have made a joke. But
LSU interception, as you decided not to diss him.
I would love to know
was
where
very
that
nice
was
of
going to
you.
go. I want to know where that was going to go, but that's fine.
Right.
Tell me
So we threw an interception, or because I don't have the game.
No,
on.
they just intercepted Lagway.
Oh,
It was good. Like,
fantastic.
you did a good karma move by not throwing him under the bus, and then LSU paid you back. It was good.
Right. I don't have it up, you guys, right now.
Yeah,
You guys don't want to know about superstitions. I'll watch it after. You guys don't have to watch me watch it. Okay. I just don't want to do that. But when Stephon Diggs was doing all of that stuff, I drafted a DM, and it was about the importance of this time in his life and all of this. And I was about to send it to him on some unk shit, like, look, young boy,
Wow.
come over here. Let me talk to you for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
Huh? See,
Let me give you some
it's
game.
a war out here. It's a war on black men like yourself, like myself. And these kids, they see themselves in you, Stephon. And I was like,
You're a role model.
I'm like, think about what you're doing the Tootsie with the hoes on the boat in Miami. Stephon, you don't want to be this type of man. I didn't send it. Because it was too corny. And what the fuck I'm telling this man about his life for?
Bro, man, looked like he was having a good time.
I think he would have had a
I
response.
don't want to assume what he was doing or what he was, how he was getting down. But at minimum, I was like, man, you know what? A lot of people would like to have been on that boat.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people would like to be on that boat.
Joel, you tell on yourself more. Like, it's just so funny, bro. I'm gonna leave it. I'm not even going, because I could easily go in. See, this is the thing that Kyle wants to keep us on schedule with football. I could easily do 5 minutes on you saying a lot of people would have wanted to be on that boat, bro. Especially after what happened on Wednesday.
Chamber guy.
No, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, I was like, damn, what happened? Oh, where's that? Oops.
Hey,
Okay. Yeah.
last thing before we wrap it up and let Van go watch his LSU Tigers, because Brian Kelly's already making sourpuss faces on the sidelines right now. But cross-off teams, the Bill Simmons special, cross-off teams. Clemson, can we cross them off? 5% chance to make the playoffs still. Joel, your thoughts? Can we cross them off?
Oh, they're probably out of it unless they win the league championship, and they still got to climb past Miami, Florida State, and whoever else that's going to be there at the end. And because also they can't win, and they play at Florida State on November 8th, and they get South Carolina in the final game of the year. Those are their only two chances really to add quality wins to their schedule. Because Syracuse, North Carolina, Boston College, SMU, Duke, Louisville, and Furman are not going to do it. Like that's just not going to be enough for them. So they're going to have to win out and hope somebody else's loses. But yeah, for the most part, I gotta think it's over. And that's just so weird, man. I mean, it could just be that the game is past Dabo by. You know what I mean? Like we're getting to a point now where Clemson is still really good. They should always be upper echelon ACC given the competition. But in terms of like how they stack up against the real national contenders, like they're not going to outcoach you, it seems like. Mm-hmm. And they're using a converted receiver as running back. Like you're Clemson, you should not have to do that. This is the school of CJ Spiller and Etienne, bro. Like why?
And their best defender looked like the Purdue transfer today, right?
Yeah,
and they're supposed to have 3 top 5 picks. I mean,
man.
What's going on?
So something is amiss there, but it could be. Nobody is great forever, man. Eventually, it comes to an end, and it just kind of, Clemson just seems to be on that sort of a gradual decline.
Yeah. Can we cross Clemson off? Yes. The reason why I think we can cross Clemson off is because, I mean, obviously things can still go their way for them to get to the playoff. But, I mean, what have they shown us to make us believe that they're capable of putting those types of performances together?
By the way, Troy lost to Memphis today, 28-7. Troy, who was up on Clemson 16-6. They got beat by the Memphis Tigers today pretty handily.
The thing that I always look at, as I look at some of the highlights from the Notre Dame Texas A&M game, the thing that I always look at is not what a team still has in front of them to be able to prove to a committee that they can make the playoff. That's not what I look at. What I look at is what does the team put on tape and how have they played to make me believe that they're capable of doing it? For example, like it changes, Alabama, I would have said a couple of weeks ago with the passion it looks like they weren't playing with, that maybe it would have been impossible for them to make a run because it didn't seem like the same Bama team. Now you look at them and you go, hey, maybe we wrote them off a little bit too soon. Well, the problem with Clemson is I think we've seen 3 straight flat performances, like from them, 3 straight flat performances. If we're being fair to Alabama, you only really saw one. Mm-hmm. You only really saw one flat performance, one performance where they looked overmatched and overwhelmed.
And we don't know if Florida State is good. Like Florida State might be legitimately a national contender.
They might have caught lightning in a bottle. I've said this before, so you just don't know. Maybe that's a game that if it was played in week 7 or week 8 and not week 1, maybe Bama has a better chance when they know who they are a little bit more. But yeah, Clemson has been consistent in one thing this season, and that's mediocrity. So the light could come on, but what reason do we have to believe that it would?
Oh man, Ooh,
nothing on the tape.
Somebody gonna be upset. I'm a Big 12 guy, so I gotta say, and nobody probably cares about this, but Kansas State has 3 losses before mid-September.
Wow.
No wins over any FBS programs. This is a team, they had the second best odds of winning the Big 12 according to FanDuel at the beginning of the year. So I mean, it's pretty obvious you can cross them out. And in fact, Kansas State being this bad probably means the Big 12 is, I mean, depending on what people, if U of H can keep it up or TCU, but Big 12 probably going to be a 1-bid league at this rate. But yeah, man. And
Iowa State, TCU feels like the 2 teams that could actually get it done. But yeah, it definitely feels like a 1-bid situation, which might be good for an SEC team that's lost 3 games or, an ACC team like Clemson that gets hot at the end of the season, something like that. But it does feel like it's dark times. And Avery Johnson, ever since his family fought, it's been all downhill.
Man, 13 of 29 for 88 yards. Like do you know like that is incredibly bad. Like and I was saying it's almost like a pitcher who a pitcher who loses 20 starts because it's like, oh, you had to have been really good for them to keep running you back out there. So either Avery Johnson is just like, well, man, like he's so good, we know that he'll turn it around, or their backup is terrible. Like, and they're just like, well, that's not going to make anything any better. But he was a mess against, and this is Arizona, man. They lost 23-17 to Arizona on Thursday. So yeah, man, it's over for K-State, man. They're out.
It feels like they're making him play left-handed too, and not literally left-handed, but they're saying, "Hey, we'll start with the pass and then we'll run it." It's like I feel like Avery Johnson's superpower has always been running first, and then the pass kind of comes off of his run game. So it's very strange to kind of see that situation when you watch a Haynes King at Georgia Tech do it perfectly. It's right. Like, why aren't we doing something like that? There's a beautiful model out there that is getting it done. Guys, Van, any last points before we get out of here? We're going to get back to the football, watching these games. Any last thoughts, parting thoughts?
No. Let me go back and have a miserable time watching my favorite team. Let's see what happens. I'm interested, obviously, in that game. And low-key, the game of the night is the Notre Dame Texas A&M game.
Mm-hmm. It's already a good one. 14-7 right now. Already got some fireworks. Yeah,
already. So we'll see how that happens. And then, obviously, we'll see you guys back on Wednesday.
Yep, definitely. Joel, any parting thoughts before we get out of here?
Y'all gonna watch the Canelo Crawford fight?
I definitely am.
Yeah, got to.
Yeah, can't wait.
Yeah, that's
the beauty of multi-view.
Oh yeah, well, this is my parting thought. If Texas didn't have so many more games ahead of them, I probably would have called them a pretender too. I would say, all right, y'all probably out of it as well. They look terrible this year. So
I think next week we're going to talk about them as a cross-off team, but we'll see. We'll see where we get to, and will be fun. Trying to figure out who is actually the most talented and best team in the country, and that's the beauty of college football. We appreciate everybody being live with us. Ringer Tailgate, we're having fun on Saturdays, and we will talk to you all on Wednesday. See you then. 21 or older and present in select states for Kansas in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, or 18 and older and present in D.C., Kentucky, or Wyoming. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit FanDuel.com/RG. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY